Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video, all in crypto here. And today, unexpectedly, we are going to be delivering a Cardano update video. And what did I mean by unexpectedly? Well, I didn't intend on making a ADA related video today, as it is Sunday. And because we have so much Cardano content coming out for you guys, covering all the moving things, the moving parts taking place right now with Cardano and its ecosystem next week, including interviews with some of the builders within the Cardano space. So do stay tuned for that. We released an interview with Mickey from World Mobile this week just past. You can find us on all major podcast and streaming services, and you can also watch that interview on YouTube. So stay tuned for a jam-packed ADA-related content week ahead. However, despite not wanting to kind of overly cover Cardano, today, I couldn't help but make a video on some colossal news in regards to Cardano and its ecosystem that actually broke on Friday. Now, I was just going to incorporate this into another video as a kind of segment. However, I felt like it deserved its own video. And what the hell am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about OneChain and the first USDC bridge from Arbitrum to Cardano is now on Mainnet. We haven't just seen USDC come over to Cardano. We've seen Ethereum, Bitcoin, and USDT. Now, this is colossal news. We're going to be explaining why it is colossal news. This is from Stake with Pride over on Twitter, who highlighted this. You've essentially got a lot of Bitcoin, a lot of USDC, a lot of USDT, and a lot of Ethereum that is now living on the Cardano blockchain. And it's not just a one-directional thing. You also have, see if I can find it, ADA being sent onto other blockchains. So this is huge. We're going to be covering it all, explaining what is actually going on here, a little bit about the OneChain side chain that's going to live on Cardano, how they're planning on facilitating all this. And then to kind of wrap this video up, once I've covered all that, I want to dive into Cardano's mentioning, ADA's mentioning in the recent filing made by Coinbase to dismiss the SEC's claims of them operating a unlicensed brokerage for securities. Of course, Cardano was mentioned, and actually Coinbase specifically mentioned ADA and Dash in regards to the complaint launched by the SEC not being a valid one based on these individual assets not being classified as, or in their opinion, not being securities. So we've got a lot to cover. You can see probably why I wanted to make a video separate for this, given the huge news of it. Let's dive into it, and let's start off by taking a look at OneChain. This is a post from over a year ago now. Bridges and sidechains, OneChain making Cardano interoperable. And we're seeing the fruits of this labor today. We saw it really launch on Friday. Several months ago, a team from OneChain reached out to IOG, Input Output, to discuss how to enable interoperability between the Cardano mainnet, Cardano sidechains, and other heterogeneous blockchain networks. The goal, to build the infrastructure required to enable a true real-fi application spanning multiple blockchains to drive the adoption of Cardano's ecosystem. OneChain's network agnostic blockchain interoperability solution and support the future of Web3. It soon became apparent that this was a monumental task, requiring the input and output, little pun there, of multiple teams. Indeed, connecting Cardano to heterogeneous blockchains would be a complex undertaking, since Cardano is fundamentally different to most other blockchain networks of note. Cardano talks about difference in smart contracts being a Haskell, a Plutus and a Haskell specific kind of building environment, although we know that we've got the launch of Marlow, Mithril, and a number of other things. Really, Marlow helping people to build in an easy way. You've also got the likes of what DC Spark are doing with Milkameda, with the EVM, not EVM and Solidity. Different transaction models. Cardano uses a UTXO model like Bitcoin, not account-based model like Ethereum. Different signature schemes, so on and so forth. And there has been work on this since this article actually was released. Each of these differences are worthy of their own dedicated post, but sufficient to say that combined, they present a unique obstacle, limiting Cardano's potential for interoperability. Luckily, engineers love a good challenge. Teams from IOG, OneChain, and MLabs, an industry-based best Haskell, Rusk blockchain and AI consultancy, collaborated to design a actionable plan to make Cardano interoperable. And now with the foundations of the interoperability solution for Cardano in place, the time is right to share some details about what has thus far been an exciting endeavor. In this article, we explain the basic infrastructure for connecting Cardano to heterogeneous blockchain networks, reveal a novel sidechain solution, and share this project near and long-term roadmap. So then you've got OneChain, a wide area network of blockchains. First, a bit about OneChain. OneChain is both a sustainable layer 1 proof of stake blockchain and a decentralized blockchain interoperability solution. The OneChain layer 1 POS blockchain is a full Ethereum-like environment that works with industry standard Ethereum tools, dApps, and protocols. Importantly, it has some ties to Cardano. OneChain uses a Galaxy consensus, a proof of stake consensus algorithm that leverages a variety of cryptographic schemes, including a distributed secret sharing and threshold signature to improve random number generation. Sounds like they've got something in similar with Algorand as well. And block production mechanisms. Galaxy consensus development by world-class researchers and academics is the continuation of Cardano's own Ouroboros. Again, Ouroboros is a consensus mechanism that can only but be admired. So that's a little bit about OneChain, what they're trying to do. Of course, the news, the breaking news on Friday it's on the 4th of August, which was a Friday, was the actual first USDC has been bridged from Arbitrum to Cardano mainnet. You can see public launch coming soon to the industry's most secure cross-chain bridge. I think there's a little bit of a debate about that, but you can see USDC now lives, and this is according to State with Pride. Shout out to him. You can now see that we've got BTC according to this wallet, USDC. We've got USDT and Ethereum. This is absolutely huge because these are the largest assets in terms of value and volume, trade volume, whatever it may be, that live in the entire crypto space. And they now live on the Cardano blockchain. Now, we've already seen, in opposition with most of the blockchains, a really good uptick for TVL in Cardano. And I'm sure you've all heard about all of these projects exploding. We've mentioned many of them. We've interviewed a lot of them in regards to price. Always be a little bit careful when you're playing with small cap cryptos. They can move very fast in a very short period of time, but they can also do the opposite and crash very fast in a short period of time. So I always think treat small altcoins as speculative plays and don't go all in on them. But that being said, they've done very well. I will let you guys know we do have an interview with Mr. Ward from VY Finance coming out probably tomorrow. So do stay tuned for that. Very interesting project. We've interviewed wing riders. We've interviewed a variety of different, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot more on projects within the Cardano space, as we've been covering the Cardano blockchain for a long time. Now, this doesn't just mean that you're going to have a variety or an more extensive group of other assets on the Cardano blockchain that may offer a lot more stability, like USDC and USDT. And this is going to open up amazing DeFi opportunities. But it actually means now that the demand for Cardano is going cross-chain. So right now, Cardano is very much in regards to DeFi and usage, lives on Cardano and some very small amount of layer 2s. Well, now Cardano is actually going cross-chain. And you can see here, the first two ADA have been bridged from Cardano mainnet to Ethereum. So Cardano now also lives on Ethereum. And I do believe on Tron also, believe it or not. This is absolutely huge news, and this is all one small step for blockchain, but one great step for Cardano. You know, the world is, the blockchain vision is an interoperable one where you can seamlessly connect and interact and use all of these blockchain services through a simple interface, you know, and very easily. We're still getting there. You know, you've got things like Quant that are looking to build an overledger system, which essentially is an operating system that sits on top of the blockchain space and kind of correlates them all, and you can do all these weird and wonderful things with it. We've also seen Chainlink release their CCIP, which is exceptionally interesting in regard to cross-chain messaging. And I know a lot of projects out there actually do, on the Cardano space, leverage Chainlink's Oracle, because it is one of the better oracles out there. a kind of industry. It's almost an industry standard. Doesn't mean that other oracles won't do well, but they certainly have a monopoly from where things are start. So I thought it was worth me making a video for this. Some of you may already know about this, but this is, in my opinion, absolutely huge news. News that's definitely worth covering. You know, you can see the amount that's already came across. This is going to flood into DeFi in regards to some of the farming opportunities. Likely is going to be used to buy some of the DeFi projects. And this is just a start, you know, and actually there are many reasons, and we're going to make an entire video on why we actually think Cardano is going to do very well. We mention them often, but things like the accounting model, I think, is brilliant and actually trumps a lot of other blockchains out there, because you can essentially, you could send all of these assets in one transaction and pay one fee. You know, people don't understand that about EUTXO. And you know, Ouroboros, we've got this sidechain vision. We're going to be making a video and releasing it, or we've already made it, talking about the layers of Cardano and comparing it to a wedding cake, so on and so forth. So this is huge news. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. So Cardano is not only seen a massive influx of other assets, it's actually going global. You know, it's going global in regards to a blockchain space. Cardano is going to live on multiple other chains now, and thus there's going to be demand, farming opportunities, and everything that comes with it as a result of it. So this is great news, news that is been worked on for a long time and has finally come to fruition. Moving on to a little bit of news about the SEC. We actually made an entire video where we looked at Coinbase's motion or filing to dismiss the SEC lawsuit, and we thought that it was a very credible one, actually. I think you are going to get more lawsuits coming out. The crypto space in general is in a weird place right now. You know, I'm not 100% sure on the short-term direction. One thing that I do know is this is accumulation zone for Cardano. Okay, this is what we would call a stage one. We're currently teaching stage analysis in our Patreon. If you want to learn about that, please do hop on board. We've got the first sort of courses out on it already published, and we're going to be bringing lots more. But stage analysis, I believe, is the best way for retail to not lose money. Because it gives you a very simple, using a simple moving average guide to follow, to look at when to be in markets, when to get out of markets, and what stage, breaks it into 4 markets are in, and what you should do in accordance with that. But, you know, it's not a bad place. Cardano is forming a base here. This is your stage 1. We're yet to move into stage 2, and that's where the real fun begins. And all of this is going to be in place for when it does happen. We've got Marlowe interviews, all sorts of things coming out. So I'm a bit worried, going back to the price, that, you know, there's going to be more lawsuits coming, obviously after the Richard Hart one, so on and so forth. But we will see. But to focus back and bring it back to here, notably, SEC officials have admitted that 2 tokens traded on Coinbase, Bitcoin and Ethereum, are commodities rather than securities. When a purchaser buys Bitcoin on Coinbase, she has no fewer and no more contractual rights than a purchaser of Dash or ADA, so they specifically mentioned these 2 tokens, or any of the other tokens called out in the complaint. She is entitled to delivery of her tokens, nothing more. No principal basis exists to distinguish transactions in the tokens the SEC has already condemned to be commodities, and transactions in the tokens the SEC now claims to be securities. The secondary market sales of all these tokens are all asset sales, carried no post-sale contractual obligation. The Ripple court found no investment contract based on facts substantially identical to those alleged here. To accept otherwise would be allow the SEC to precisely what the Ninth Circuit said it couldn't 30 years ago. Turn any sale of good contracts into a security, so on and so forth. So this is great news as well. You know, I do think as well as there's silver linings in most, pretty much everything in life. I'm sure there are some that you'd struggle to find a silver lining in, but there's massive silver linings, and we've always said this in regards to what the SEC is doing, because it can go in the crypto space's favor, and actually regulatory clarity is what propels this industry into the tens of trillions. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you guys. I just thought I'd make a quick video talking about OneChain, talking about what's just happened with Cardano and all the great things that are going on. And yeah, have a smashing Sunday, or wherever you are, whatever time it is you're listening. Could be Monday. And on that note, I'm going to love and leave you. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have a like, it's appreciated. So as a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next.